righty. Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Another fun-filled day. Let's see, where are we and what am I looking for? There we are. I'm looking for our website. That's exactly what I'm looking for. As you can see up on the, let's get the fact check up there too. As you can see, the Swiss is firm. You can see it on the Chicago Quant. It's unched. And on the J4X, it's flying up. So it's perfect. You know, it's just, it is what it is. It's moving up, and which means that the dollar is strong. And I'm seeing interest rates drop here in the States, which is kind of curious. You know, when you have full control of the Federal Reserve and the central banks and all that other fun stuff that they do have, they can get away with that with no problem. Okay, let me go over to our website, make sure we're getting some sound. Let me turn on the volume. Let's hunt for the chat line. And so, you know, in the end, in my mind, it's a whole different market than what it used to be. Whoa, hold it. Cool. Nice commercial. There we go. Yeah, it's a whole different market, and they can do what they want to do when they want to do it to a great extent. You know, in other words, if they couldn't get the rates down a week ago, they slowly whittle it away, and the next thing you know, the rates are down. You know, and they're back into the low 60s. And remember, the world was supposed to come to an end if it went to, was it break 60, right? So it went to 75. And did the world fall apart? Nope. And the reason why it didn't fall apart? The central banks control the marketplace. They're the buyers of last resort. And they have way deeper pockets and more consistency than in the old days pre-QE. QE is the new era. We're in the QE era, and until I see any sign, it's going to stay here. This is the whole new era. This is like AD and BC, or BCE versus AD. It's the same thing. QE is a whole new financial era. Things we knew that functioned almost over 5,000 years doesn't exist anymore, like paying interest on bonds. Let's see. Central banks, the governments being 100% in control of buying stocks for their own portfolio, holding values of prices, just inventing money. You know, these are things no nation in the world can do but the United States. No one has the ability or the wherewithal or the what's the word I can hear the word in my head. I'm trying to say it out loud. They don't have the it's drifting even further out of my head now. But they just don't. No other country in the world, even a couple countries put together. You could put Europe and China together, and they still couldn't do it. You could put China, Europe, and the Russian Federation together, and they still couldn't do it. You probably could do the same thing, even with the Commonwealth. Throw the Commonwealth in there, and you still couldn't get away with it. No one has the ability to define value the way the United States does, and that's because we're an island. The United States is literally an island of finance. So the average farmer, let's go right to the basics. Everybody has to eat food. The average farmer in the United States farms 128 acres per farmer. Okay, not per farmer. So in other words, one farmer will do 128 acres in a day. Okay. Outside the United States, the average is 9 acres. So we actually farm something like 11 times more than anybody else. Okay. Now, obviously, that has a sliding average to it when you look at Canada or some of the industrialized nations. But that's an incredible number that we have that capacity. We're able to produce enough oil. Let's talk about the energy to power those machines to do it. We have the capacity to be a supply sider. We can supply more than we use. We also have the technology to manufacture anything and everything we want. We have the minerals in Alaska, or it's somewhere in the United States, to manufacture the most sophisticated electronics. We have just everything that's needed. I think it was during World War II that really what it came down to is um, the Japanese said, when they bombed Pearl Harbor, they said we have woken a sleeping giant. In other words, we pretty much can stay inside ourselves. We don't really need to go out to any other country to get anything more than a luxury. In other words, you want something from that's not manufactured in the United States, and let's say Rolls-Royce engines back in yesteryear. Well, you go to Great Britain and you buy them from there, or something in France, or something in Germany, or something in Japan. In other words, that alone changes the dynamic to be able to provide for oneself as a country, and at the same time lead the world economically. And so that's where we really are. This is the QE era, and this is what we see. And when you go, let's take a look at this really quick on the charts themselves. Look at the 10-year bond right there. And you can see the 10-year bond, they said pretty much when this line was broken, the 132s, they said the world was going to end. It didn't end. What happened to the stock market? We can show you really quickly. Stock market's up. World didn't come to an end, didn't take out this low or anything like that, or that low there. It did nothing. So, the move up into the 1.7s is now sitting at 161, which means that sooner or later the Federal Reserve was able to accumulate enough bonds to tighten the market up to lower the interest rates. And they have the wherewithal, they have the ability to do so. Before QE, it was always more of the funds themselves, mutual funds and hedge funds and pension funds and so forth. They were kind of like, and the specialists themselves at the exchanges were the buyers of last resort. Well, now the central bank has taken that position up, and that's where we are. So, all right, that is the reality to it all. So now what we'll do is we'll go and see what their handiwork does. So let's go back to, there's the Swiss, and the Swiss shows us that this product is going up. In other words, the Dow is the dollar is going up. That's all that really shows us in the end result. And remember, you hear, we do currencies here, so a lot of people are always walking around going, when's the dollar going to get crushed? Dollar is going to go down. It's overdone. It has, gone beyond its abilities. The Americans in debt. They don't produce anything, which is obviously the reverse. We're the most productive country in the world. So I guess more than anything else is what we have to deal with every day is some type of propaganda, which is okay. It's part of the First Amendment. In other words, free speech, free people, free ideas, free speech. That's what it really comes down to. So anyway, in this era of QE, looks like the Federal Reserve finally got what they wanted. They wanted to bring those interest rates back down, but notice the dollar is not falling. So in other words, you can see here when we go to, let's just go right there. When we look at the bond, let's go back to the bond. Right there. The bond has risen up. And what's the dollar doing? In other words, usually in the old pre-QE, before there was a QE, quantitative easing, and controlled by the central banks. Before there was that, when interest rates rose, people's currencies went up in value because people wanted to own something that was deriving more interest than something else. In this era, it all comes down to the way for stability. The quantitative easing and the central banks are always consistently fighting for consistency and normality. They want steady, slow growth, and it doesn't matter about earnings or inflation or any of that other stuff. That those ideas are kind of washed away, and only the medias that project it are just part of the spin factor. That's okay. It's just the way it is. So you can see there, interest rates are dropping fairly well from the 175 area down to the 161. And what are we seeing on the currency side? We see a dollar that's stronger today than it was 5 days ago. There's 5 days back. So in other words, why isn't going? It should be going down like this, not up like that. And same thing, you go over and take a look at the euro. The euro should be rising, not declining, because the dollar is going up with interest rates dropping. And then cable. Cable's starting to challenge these lows here even. That's what happens when you slip into a weekly sell and a daily sell. They seem to find a way to go down. It's an 8.5 out of 10 times it's going to happen. All right. So there is the action in the quantitative universe, and just fascinating to watch, live, to actually see history mutate into this whole new financial era. And you have most of those old financial channels, like a Bloomberg or a CNBC and so forth, having almost no understanding of it all, or refusing to communicate it, one or the other. Take your choice, because it is part of their policy too. The left, the idea is to be able to just borrow money forever. Just keep on borrowing it and buying power. That's pretty much the name of the game. All right. From the cable, let's drift over to the Turkish Lira, which is fascinating with its political situation going on. And there it is right there. You can see it's pretty much unchanged. It was a little firmer this morning, I guess a little weaker, I guess you'd say. When this thing's rising, it's weak. And it's just about sitting unchanged. We're still hanging out in this weekly sell. It's been in that weekly sell since there. So you can see that 8.5 out of 10. There's your 1.5 right there. It's wrong. And that's what happens sometimes. Nope, not that one. Let's do this one. Here's a look at the daily and tighten it up a little bit more. You see, it's not really moving up. I mean, we'll go up and visit the time manifold. So we're convinced that sooner or later we're going to find ourselves back down in this type of channel right there again. Hey, Daniel, how you doing? Yes. Any chance to see the MACD versus Stochastics? Yes, indeed. What were we looking at yesterday? Which product? Because I saw it this morning when I was looking at the... do you remember what we were looking at? It's in there still. Oh, wait a minute. No, it's on there now. Here we go. Let's do this. Let's enlarge in this. So there it is. Here's a classic right there. Go into the buy here with the Stochastic. And let's see. Let's bring this down. There we are. Now they both joined in that time. But notice here, this goes into a sell with the Stochastic. And this is rising. And this, the pattern is, I guess you could say, and let's widen this up a little bit like that. There we are. I'll move that up a little bit like that. And you can see this told us there that the pressure was on. And this is rising up at the same time. How do you read that? Now this is your here, I'll show you what this is. Edit indicator. So we have the 12, 50, and 7 in there. Yeah, sure, let's do that. Cancel. And let's do, yeah, we are. That's it. That's the Swiss right there. We have it up there. It's doing the dollar Swiss now. So you can see here, it's in the buy from here, and this thing is topping out, right? In other words, would you be buying with the way the MACD is there? How'd you like my opening conversation about quantitative easing? To me, I think the big tip-off is the fact that interest rates went from, where were they? They went from everybody terrified about them breaking the 6. They broke the 6. It didn't have any effect on the market overall. And at the same time, the dollar is strong from it. Even with it coming down from the 1.7s down to the low 1.6 or 1.61 at this point, the dollar is rallying. I look at the MACD and the signal line in general when signal line is above MAC. Okay, so is this the MACD signal line? So these Are these two lines the signal lines? This one there and that one there, the dotted and the purple dot, solid. So Daniel says first buy. Okay, so I look at the MACD and the signal line in general. When signal line is above MACD, okay, so first buy signal is when MACD is down, goes back up again after a double bottom. Like here, down in here. So when it goes to the bottom, you start to buy. So in this case here, it's up at the top, you're starting to sell. Is that what's going on now? Whereas the stochastic has been telling you for the last 5 days to go long. Blue line is signal line. That's what I thought. Okay. Right, so it's telling you to sell right now, right? From here? Yes, but after a second bottom with MACD. After the second bottom. So the histogram itself has to bottom, go up, and then come back down again. Is that what it is? So, let's see. Would this be one right here where it goes up? No, I guess this is rising, so it's a buy. Let's see if we can find an example. I see how you're using it. That kind of makes sense. Okay, so in this case here, let's see. So this is down below. So this is a buy. So would you buy right here? Would that be a buy? Because it went down and it went back up again. This was up, down, and then up again. Would you buy here on that one right there? So is that the second bottom here? You're buying here. When it crosses over at this point, you can see again, stochastics is ahead of it. We both agreed stochastics, the way Doc uses the stochastics, is ahead, right? Okay. Give me a date, like see how it says 45 weeks and then 44 weeks and 42 weeks. Show me, tell me which one would be a buy, so I can understand that more. Double bottoms of the histogram, or double bottoms of like here. See how this one is a bottom and then a bottom here and then a buy. And again, at that point, the stochastic's like 3 or 4 days ahead of it again. So it would be the, where was that? Yeah, right there. So that would be week 2 of January, right in there. Would that be the buy right there? Okay, good. Well, you can see if we can put a line in. Let's see if we can put a line in. So right there. So you see, stochastics is a couple days ahead of time. So you put the two together and you got yourselves a really good tool, you know? Let's see if we can find another one. So now, this would have to go up again and then go minus to go into the sell, correct? Oh, you can't see the right side. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, I see, yeah. There we go. Let's see if I can just move it over. So right here, you're waiting for this to go up again and then break down. Let's see. This go up again and then break down. And with this up so high, your, what do you call those lines? The signal lines? It'll become a short, correct? I think we're going to label this webinar. We'll label this MACD versus stochastic, because that's what we're really doing here. Is we're really dissecting the battle. This is exactly. I used to start the webinars off with two algorithms battling with themselves. That's nice to say. So this would be a sell if the histogram goes plus again and then breaks down. Let's see. Swiss now looks more opportunistic for short. Yes, at that moment. Is this Swiss again? Oh, yeah, yeah. Right. Okay, good. I'm reading it right. And at the same time, you can tell that the stochastic keeps things nice and tight. So using the way Doc uses the stochastic, two stochastics against each other, and the MACD, you get a lot of insight out of this, don't you? It's a classic me. When the white here, let me widen this too. When the white line pierces the dotted line, it's like the same. What do you call that line? The MACD signal line, same color. When the white line pierces it, it's a buy. When it pierces it on the downside, going down below it, it's a sell. How's that go? I think that's pretty cool, or what? Looks like the two indicators together really do a nice job, I'm waiting for your response. Yeah, I think it's good insight. It really is. MACD with stochastics. That's exactly what this is going to be about. That's the way I see it. Let's see. No. Whoop. Let's see if I can clean that up. I just pushed the wrong button here. There we go. So that's the way I've been watching it. I've been watching it in that fashion. So I'm figuring that the best way, to merge these two together, because I got a friend that likes to trade with MACD. I think I'm going to do that. I mean, this is for personal use too. I got a friend that uses MACD, and I'm going to show him how to use the stochastic with it at the same time. Because there's no doubt about it, it's a better trade. Definitely a better trade. And for everybody who's using the J4X, it's a great trade. It's a good way of paying attention to it. Yeah. How do I see the purple line? I'm looking at it as energy. I threw the CCI in there just to see, how like the way they use stochastics. So let's enlarge that a little bit more. Let's see if we can do that. Let's see, how do we do this? Right, I'm going to move that like that, and then I'm going to move this over like so. So notice when it's down at the lows, and then when it finally breaks here, the white line pierces the dotted line, and the purple is down below. It's telling me that the strength is coming in, and vice versa. See it when it's at the top, and it breaks the white line here. Gives me comfort thinking that it is going to break down in value. Now let's scroll it back and see the characteristics. That's how I interpret it. So in other words, this is at the high here, right? And it's breaking down, but not until the white pierces the dotted line, signal line, or the two stochastics, do I believe that the break is coming from. But this is telling us that the energy has run out. That's when I say I watch it for strength, weakness and strength. And that's why we put this together for J4X, because I use my proprietary mathematics, and let's see, right there, there's a good spot like that, and I use my proprietary mathematics right here, And I try to emulate that with this. And the closest way we can do that is with a combination like this. Yeah, so I'm going to, I mean, it's a good tool. Taking two public indicators like this and making them work together. I wasn't sure how you used the MACD. Now I see how you use it. Makes sense. The second breakout, basically bottom, and then if it goes down and tests it again, and then goes through it, and I imagine you have a rule too with the signal line, even if it doesn't do a double double, but most things usually do, I'm sure. Like here, goes up, goes down, and goes back up again, and then you get your run right there. Excellent. Now that was kind of neat, Daniel. I mean, that's the whole idea here. Is we can look at charts. We can see what my math is doing since it's ahead of the curve. But let's put Turkish Lira in there. See how that looks. Let's see if there's a diversity between the Turkish Lira on J4X and the way my math is. So in other words, you had this explosion here, and there's that breaks down, and now it's going into the buy right here, and ours is that Turkish Lira? Yeah, it's Turkish Lira. We're still in the sell, so we're going to see, and this is just up a little bit for the day. Was higher, no doubt, but it's dropping down. This is showing all that weakness there. So there's Turkish Lira. I just want to see how it's acting compared to my work. And just to me, it's going to be, I think this thing is going to come back down into this channel because that's what our work is telling us. And if it doesn't and it goes into the buy here, then I know that it's going to make the money that it lost here, that gap there. It'll fill that gap on the upside and make back the loss. That's the way our math always works. It has a natural tendency to right the wrongs and straighten out the trends and so forth, or a profit of the trends. Well, was looking at another indicator, but only available on Trade View. What's it called? Are we boring it, Robin? Do we need to get going in something else? If so, we can. Z. And Daniel, see if you can find the indicator that you were talking about. Let's see if we can find it. All right. Now let's go over to Canada. I'll keep on. Oh, okay. As Daniel says, on a daily chart, U.S. Turkish Lira is bullish on MACD, but on weekly chart, it's bearish. Yeah. Same here. Bearish. I don't know. This was very fascinating. No one was able to front run it, or we would have seen that. The money would have poured in slowly. Oh, you were late. Okay. Because Daniel and we just came up with a really neat way of looking at the J4X with the MAC and the stochastics together. No problem. It's kind of it's happy to hump day, It's kind of middle of the week. Traders are kind of kicking back. I did a really good opening about quantitative easing and the 5,000 years. That was very interesting. I thought it was really neat. Sometimes I never know what's going to come out of my mouth. The idea is to slowly flow, and it's like, wow. But yeah, it all because of the bonds. The bonds are real proof that we are definitely in the quantitative easing era, the QE era. Just like there was I think I'm going to start doing that too. I think I'm going to call it QE. So in other words, there's AD, there's BCE, and now we're in the QE. Where governments control the marketplace. Interactively, intimately, every day. Not just, once a quarter, or floating money in and out a little bit. Composite momentum index. Composite momentum index. Trade view not available in that form in the J4X platform. Ah, okay. Is it like, composite momentum? There are momentum indicators. I've seen them around. I see. Interesting. Yeah. Thought it was Friday. I can't wait personally. So looking forward to the Friday coming up. So that'd be cool. Huh? I have no problem with that. Yeah. Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, it's a-okay with me. So anyway, we're dissecting how these indicators work and how to use them. It seems like we're coming up with some interesting stuff here. Whoop, did that wrong. All right, what else can we look at here? Traders, anybody have any particular? It's kind of funny to watch the way oil had bounced up. Mm-hmm. 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 La la. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how. Here, let's just show you. Oop, let's move that like that. Let's show you what oil is doing. Usually what we do is we go to Canadian, but let's do this. Let's finish off the two. Do Canadian. We'll do Canadian and then NASCAD, and then we'll run over to the energy sector. So there's Canadian right there. Still firm, going up. And so that's it's unchanged today. So oil should be relatively flat. And now let's look at NASCAD. And NASCAD right there. Down a little bit. So most of the action came yesterday. Let's go check out oil. I would say oil is sideways to down, maybe a tick up. I know, just almost flat. That's the way I look at it, looking at these two pairs trades. Oil, where's it at? Right there. Ooh, they're buying that sucker. Oh yeah, look at that. More strength than I realized. So they're really lifting it up. I guess it was pretty much a pounding, falling down from the 61.56 all the way down to 50. Wow, it's a pretty big drop. 57.76. So it's like almost a $4 drop in 2 days. So today, it's the dead cat bounce. That's what we're really seeing there. It's just a dead cat bounce, which is okay. Let's see. Daniel, composite momentum. Closest thing on J4X is Chan at dynamic momentum index. Okay. How's that look? Pretty good or what? Let me see if I can find that. That's on this? Are you using it now? Is that a good tool? $1.65 on the oil. Yeah, I can see that. It's a dead cat bounce after almost a $4 drop. That's like, wow. Yeah, that's pretty tenacious. So that's the action we've been seeing there. Let's see what Daniel says there. Nothing yet. So that is the action we see. All right. Now, where do we go from here? Nothing. No one's saying anything. So we will go look through like natural gas and just check out right there. There is nat gas, which seems to be awful firm, but that's cool. But we can't get that weekly into a buy there, so let's show that to you, like so. Let's see what it looks like on J4X. Nat gas right there. And it has, it's been doing the same thing now. It's more red than anything else, and the MACD is still heading down. The only thing that's showing us strength here is this. Our stochastic combination. And then obviously on what's it? Not on ours, on Chicago Quant, same thing. You can see the strength there. And that's pretty much the name of the game. Just identifying that strength, that momentum, Now, does that index give you that third leg? Is that what it is, Daniel? Does that kind of give you the insight that you're looking for that edge between, I guess you're using MACD and that? Now you can use stochastic because stochastic is ahead of the MACD. So the idea is to, use the best that lead more than lag. Because I'm sure you don't want to confirm as much as you want a leading indicator. True that, I'm sure. All right, now check the chat line again. Daniel says, GBP NZD, buy, what do you think, Doc? Let's take a look at it. GBP NZD. Right there. There's it there. And we'll put it up on ours too. Let's see, right there. GBP NZD. There's GBP JY. GBP AUD. GBP Swissy. I guess we don't have that, so we have to change that. Let's see. Let's make the Japanese, which is interesting. Let's make that the NZD. There we are. There. And there. Oh, missed that again. There we go. Look how tight that is. Now we have to expand it. Boy, those numbers are going to be wild. We're playing with 5 digits there. So right there is 0.00625. And same thing with the weekly. We are measuring minute moves. Minute, very small moves. There we go. So you can see here, let's see, so that one, I guess that would be right there, right? Yeah. This one would be right there. It looks very smooth though, doesn't it? That cell can be moved over to here. That's cool. But notice it's all inside the weekly buy because the weekly buy started off there. And it flipped back and forth. You can see that also. So it went into the buy there. And you see it was in a sell for here. Went into a buy. Went back into a sell. And now is back in a buy again. Let's scrunch that up just to get a flavor of it all. Okay. So that sell there was a great sell. Caught that ride down like that. Gave us a little hesitation in here. And now back in the saddle again. Been in a buy there with that ride. And I guess we go like this. Move that over to there. Make that pinkaroonie. Like so. And then you got these two to go in and out. In. And out. and then in again. Interesting. Right there. And that one is the red, or the pink. There we go. So that was interesting. And then, let's see, if we widen this out again like that. So there's the buy. All the way up to here. Goes into the sell. And that's the buy again right there. This is a very nice product to follow. Let's see, get that up there. And then, what is that? Is that right? No. Where's the buy? The buy is right there. And the sell was right there. And then I guess we do this. This goes over to here. And that goes to there. Let's see what that is. Nope. It's the next one. Right there. Oh, and there's another buy in here again, isn't it? What is that? That's a buy. So there's your buy. So you can take this buy, and it's a winner, winner, chicken dinner. You can take this buy, again, chicken dinner. Third for a charm, chicken dinner. And this one is a ziggy zag, but still a short-term win, or, oh no, wait a minute, that went into a sell. Right there's a sell, so let's do that. So that's a toughie. So that goes like that. And then we went into the buy yesterday. And it's a winner, winner, chicken dinner. Let's see. Yes, we've been watching that peso. The president in Mexico is doing some interesting things. Responsible things, which is unique. Which is really cool. You can see here it's trying to play with the sell. It's been in a daily sell since here. Went into a daily buy here, but you can't take it because, I guess you, it's on the edge there. It's below at the moment, so you don't really want to, but you can go like that. Let's move that down, actually. There we go. And we'll see what that does and see if this bounces back up again. But it's keeping a nice tight range. We're actually seeing the peso trade very constructively, It's trading very constructively. Let's see, what else can we say about that? Went into the buy here. So that sell is right there. Then there's your buy. So there's your first buy, which was winner, winner, chicken dinner. It's a lot less trades, I noticed that. There's your second one. Again, another nice little win. There's your third. 3-0. And now, only because it's into the minus, you don't want to try to take the long out of it. That's the problem. You have to watch that. Soybean Futures. Let's see what they're doing. They were looking kind of lethargic this morning when I looked at them. Let's see, where's that at? Right there. All this stuff is so high up. You would think, it always amazes me that gold and silver isn't, but then the central banks are now using it as a currency. And since they're using them as a currency, it kind of changes the whole complexion to metals trading. And Robin and I have been talking about it, where, at least in my mind, I'm convinced that the fast or hot money has moved away from the metals and is more in the cryptocurrencies at this point. There's May beans. I'm not sure why we're not seeing the update here. See what the setting's on. That'll show the update now. There we go. So you can see here it is firm. We're in the weekly buy still for 4 weeks. And there's our last buy to it. Yeah, that's the last buy. Even with that slam sell, it refused to take the indice, our gas line, and turn it into anything. What are the settings for stochastic indicator? On J4X here, I'll show you. The fast is edit indicator. There it is. There's the fast. So all I'm following is the SMA, and it's a 5-3. The K is 5, and the D is 3 on the fast. Then on the slow, we're following the low high and the SMA, and then the 3 with the slow D period, and then the slow K is 3, and the fast, I guess so you have a fast in there too, and the fast is 5. Does a good job. Got it? And remember, you can go back to the recording and look at it too, because Dukascopy will post it in the YouTube, and then you can go and look at those numbers. There we go. All right. Back to Forex. Let's see what the ruble's doing this morning. There's ruble. Climbing nicely. It went into the weekly buy last week right there. I guess we should fix that. Make it the right color. No, that one right there. And it should be a solid line. There it is. Whoop. What's that all about? Why wouldn't it let me do that? Let's try that again. There. And solid line, and hit OK. There we go. We can get rid of the little circly thing. So we went into the daily buy and the weekly buy, and what a winner chicken dinner that one is. Let's see what is going on with Mr. and Mrs. Yen. Still down for a couple days in the sell here, but been in a weekly buy all the way back here. So you can't take the shorts, you only can take the longs. Then let's drift over to the Zolty. You see the Zolty is trying to get into a daily buy today. It's in a weekly buy for a few weeks, so it has been on an upwardly trajectory, I guess you could say. And then we looked at that peso. That was really cool. I've been watching the peso every day. Like I said, the president of Mexico is doing some interesting stuff in a positive way. So, matter of fact, this morning he stationed 9,000 troops at the border of the United States. This way, you try to keep control of this crazy invasion that's going on with these drug mules and all that, and sex traffickers and all that stuff. It's the weirdest thing. The Democrat Party's really into that stuff. They really support it. It's odd, very odd. Let's see, where else do we go from here? What we can do is, we could always go as, now we've done the other currencies, we can finish off the, not there, we want to finish off the energies. We looked at natural gas and crude oil. Let's look at Robo, the oil for the gas oil or gas fuel for automobiles. You see here, it's flirting with it today. We're trying to get into a daily buy. We've been in a weekly buy for a while, so you can't take the shorts out of this thing. All you can do is, like it told you here, up on this plateau, don't be long anymore. And then sure enough, it gets munched down. Okay, let's check that out. That is dollar. There it is right there. Yeah, I guess we were playing with something there, weren't we? I guess we were looking at this. We were yesterday. We were doing the MACD with it. That's I put it over all my system. So there's the MACD. I guess we could go like this. Is that your dot? That must be your dotted line. So which one is that? First of all, let's turn all that stuff off. Second of all, let's make that the no, that's not it, is it? No, it must be this one down here. No, that's what it is. It's this one right there. Make it dotted or dashed at least, and then make this purplish like that, or there we go, and solid. And then we can make the histogram. Oh, that's the line, so let's make that invisible. And then invisible, like so. And then the histogram, let's make that, what was it? It's pink, right? So we'll go like that. Make it a little bit thickerish too. There we go. So I guess this was the second double bottom right there, and it turns up here. Our math turned up, tried to start turning up right there, and was turned up there. And you get your run. That's interesting. And let's see what it looks like on J4X. I guess we could use that, right? Yeah. So you can see it's turned up here, and you can see this is turned up there. And I guess that was the second bottom, and as it starts to go plus again, it's just a day behind, maybe at most 2 days behind, something like that. Not bad. Very interesting. Yeah, so there it is with our work. Let's put this up so you can see that. There it is with our work, and there it is with on J4X. With our interesting new combination of MACD combined with the stochastics, and now you see how to use this purple as the strength or weakness. There's the starts to tell us it's starting to get weak. Down here is telling us that there's strength trying to come in, especially with this second bottom and lifting up again. All right. What else can we say about any of this? It's been a quiet day. Maybe me starting off with QE scared people. They don't want to hear the reality. I don't know. Maybe it's just people are tired for the week already. But it is important, traders. Definitely important to understand that we are in a whole different world. So when you read books about how great how you can trade like it's 1999 or 2004. Don't buy those books. Only buy stuff that tells you how to trade in the quantitative era. That's the only one you want, is the quantitative area. You know, the QE era of investments. And I don't see it coming to an end whatsoever. Oh, let's see what the lines look like now that I just realized that. So there's the buy, and it goes into the sell here. Right there. There's just, whoa, no, cancel. There's a sell. And then where's the buy at? The buy doesn't come in until right here, right there. Oh yeah, we got to fix that too. So we move this one up and move that one up. There we go. And then let's make that whitish think so. There we go. So it's been in a weekly buy since back here. There you go. And now you'll see my screen. There we are. Let's save all that. Boy, that has it all, doesn't it? View, where was it? File, save workspace, and then, so you can see here, here's the weekly down below, the MACD in the middle, and then the daily right there. Interesting. This is a nice, you know, just look how long. I like the length in between sells and buys. It's so nice, like that, like that, like that. You know, it's, you know, good signals to kick out on this stuff. And that's the way I like to see it all the time. I love it. I love finding products that match up to things like this, where match up to this rhythm, you know, where they're not in and out so much as, you know, they go days and longer. Oh, let's see what the S&Ps look like. Let's see, where is it at? Right there. And there's the S&P holding up firm, trying to get into a buy. Our weekly is still minus. What else we got going on there? And I guess that's about it with that. Now let's take a look at, we have RSP. We have that in the box. Let's go check that out, and then we'll call it quits. Open workspace. Let me do this. Cancel. Start off from here, like that. Where's the mouse at? Right there. There it is. Close workspace. Now let's open that one up. And here is the S&P on an ETF. Right there. Right here. Right there. That's the S&P. And it's trying to lift up. Is that what it's doing there today? Oh, yeah, I guess it is. You know, it's higher. It's higher, but it's still showing weakness in there. Let's take a look at one other one. We can go to the SPY real quick. Let's do that, and then we'll get out of here. Is that, I opened up the wrong one. That's Tesla. Tesla is 3 days in a sell. You can go back to the video and catch that if you want. Where's that? I want to open. Let's close this. Close that workspace, and then let's go check out the S&P. Open workspace. There it is. It's the index one. There we are. Here it comes. It's SPY. There it is, right there. Yeah, see, it's having its issues about getting going, and it's where is it? It's in a. Is it a weekly sell? There is the. That was the weekly sell right there, and it stayed in a sell, and I guess it's still in a sell. That's what it is. So the SPY is still in a weekly sell on the ETF. It's trying. Notice the histogram is plus, but the white line is minus. This one I play around with a purple one too. Not purple and green, a different plot there just for the interest of it all. All right, traders, we're out of here. This is Doc from North America saying arrivederci. Catch you tomorrow. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading cyber friends.